Hey everybody, Austin here, Worship Catalyst Update. September, we're at the end of September 2018, and man, I'm just excited as always to come and share with you how things are going with Worship Catalyst, not only across the country, but really specifically locally. This is a guy named Chris Allen here, and Chris is an awesome guy, man. He's a connector in the Boston area, up in the Northeast, and been with us for a while, and I just wanted to give you a chance to get to know him a little bit better. I don't think we've ever really had a good conversation with him on video, so I want to give you a chance to do that. So this is Chris, and Chris is awesome, and Chris is having a baby soon, man. How's that going?
Hey, it's going. You could ask my wife, and she could give you a better analysis. But November 10th, we will have our first baby, a little girl, and so we're just praying right now for everything to go well. And
are you sharing her name yet?
Going good. What's that?
Are you sharing her name yet?
We haven't even picked the name yet, so
okay.
No, we're not.
Awesome, cool. And Chris also is the co-pastor of a church called Banner Hill in Framingham, which is West Boston, western edge of the Boston metro area. And so last night, the 23rd of September, was launch, official launch. How'd that go?
Man, it was amazing. It was a wild ride for sure. You know, we were dreaming big. We thought planning for 145 people. Had that many chairs set out and thought if we could even get close to filling these seats, it'd be amazing. And 190 showed up. We're having to add just all these rows, and Mayor Framingham showed up because we partner with the city in a bunch of different ways. And I mean, it felt like a party, quite honestly, which we just didn't expect. And so it was a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement. And we got to share the gospel with probably at least 100 of those 190 don't know Jesus.
That's crazy. So good, man. That's so exciting, man. We're going to keep up on that and see what God's doing. So let's talk a little bit about ministry in the Boston area. So Chris is originally from Texas, and so he's been living in the Northeast for quite a few years. But what is one thing that's really unique about reaching far from God people in the Boston area?
Yeah. You know, I've actually done some surveys on this as a church planter. So the two big things that immediately come to my mind from talking to hundreds of people in random places in the Boston area is people find church up here to be completely irrelevant to everyday life. It has nothing to do with what goes on in my real life every day. Right. And so they have no need for it. They have no use for it. The other thing is there's a complete distrust with the church. So everybody's skeptical of anything church related. And so there's a complete, people find church to be untrustworthy and completely irrelevant. And so that makes it a unique challenge. You start talking, you try to invite them to stuff, you know, so the challenge are those things. So it has to be very relational up here, you know.
Yeah, and knowing all of that, man, is why we're so excited to have a Worship Catalyst hub in the Boston area, you know, because, I mean, your percentages of far from God people are just, you know, really discouraging. And yet the movement of God in the Boston area, for those of you that don't know, man, has been crazy, like on a tear for the last few years. Just God's doing some awesome stuff up there. So we're excited to be able to partner in that area through Chris. So Chris, what's just over the last few weeks even, what's like a really awesome thing that you think that has made a big difference in a new church that you've been able to do?
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to mind is there was a church that launched 2 weeks before ours. And so we kind of had gone through some of the trainings with them, with their pastor, and kind of knew this guy already. He was a friend of ours. And they're in an area of Boston that's very, very not just indifferent to the gospel, but they get attacked for when they share the gospel in this area. Right. And just some stuff going on. And so I got with this pastor through Worship Catalyst and just started talking and dreaming about what some stuff could be to help them and kind of move them further along in where they are and reaching people that are far from God. And one of the things I identified, they need some rhythm. They're in a very diverse area, and they just don't want a guy on stage doing singer-songwriter with an acoustic guitar. Mm-hmm. They need some life in their service. And so they had a guy named Matt who never played cajon ever in his life, and they didn't want to throw in a full drum kit out of the gate either with this guy and overwhelming, but they needed something. And so we got a guy, it's a professional drummer in Boston, gave Matt about 3 hours worth of lessons. And our goal was, by their launch date, can we get Matt some lessons and get him able to play? And so, I showed up and did a service eval last week. And to my surprise, Matt ended up being the highlight of their worship team.
He was the best one.
Yeah. He just looked comfortable. He looked like he was living life, and just what they wanted. They had some groove going on. And so you have a diverse population. They just want some energy. And so it was fantastic to watch him in that moment after the lessons, and he was nervous even for the lessons, and then to see him up on stage doing that, it was sweet.
And you charged, and Shannon, the professional drummer in Boston, charged him $0 to do those lessons, right?
$0.
That's so good, man. Yeah, I love that about Worship Catalyst, right? We can just dig into people's lives and help them get better at what they do.
Yeah.
And one last thing, man, is there anything, like, tell me something you're just really enjoying about being a connector.
Yeah. Easy. My favorite piece of being a connector is the coaching and discipleship of the worship leaders at the churches. Most of these guys or girls are young, they're inexperienced, but they have a heart for the Lord. They have a heart for this region. They want to reach people far from God. And so it's been one of the thrills of my life actually to sit with them. And a young lady named Hannah, just this past Friday, sat with her for a couple hours, and she just shared her frustrations and the challenges. And she's never really been in leadership like this and trying to navigate working with a pastor that's a strong leader and all this stuff. And I just wanted to get to know her story, but she started just firing off just specific questions and challenges on leadership. And to watch the light bulb go off just to give her some coaching and some tips and advice, that's been the joy for me of doing this. It's just the coaching and discipleship.
That's awesome, man. Well, we're thankful to have you, Chris, on the team, and thankful for all that you're doing in these churches that you're serving up there. And I want to say to all of you guys that we're actually launching 3 new cities next month that'll be able to get started late October, early November. It's going to be DC metro area, St. Louis, and then Phoenix. And I wanted to let you know that because next month we're going to be doing a report to you guys, a really important one that'll be from a gathering that we're having in Vegas where all of our connectors, or most of them, are coming to the city so we can do some further team building and training and stuff like that. So anyway, love you all. Chris, thanks, man, for being on our call. And God bless you guys for all that you're making a difference in Worship Catalyst. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.